Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to another daily dungeon. Gonna try doing a couple different things today. We're gonna be watching through a video that I did with Zen earlier. We're trying to get some, the off the meta, or break the meta keys and whatnot in the guild, and he wants to play arms, so we were practicing a couple arms keys with him. I'm just playing blood on this. It's a 21 Uldaman. Should be pretty straightforward, nothing too crazy. I think we pull all the way up here to these basilisks, and I got everything running. I hit pretty much everything. My pot here? Yeah, I do. Use pretty much everything. Start blasting. I think the only thing you really need to worry about in this first pack is trying to hit as many interrupts as you can. So like AoE stops, and then the chain lightnings. As a tank, like if the basilisks get their what is it called, the spikes off, spiked carapace, it really hurts too. I didn't even realize I was doing 300k HPS on this pull. What the fuck? And there's gonna be a lot of bolstering here, because I think here you'll see in a second I go from, wow, I went from 1.6 mil on a shield to nothing with all the bolstering stacks on the berserker there. That was crazy. Kind of tired. It's a little later in the day. It's like 10 a.m., which is late for me because I work nights or whatever, right? So I figured doing videos like this where I just kind of commentate over like some edited footage would probably be a little bit better, because I find when I'm doing the dungeon, I find it harder to talk about stuff, right? Because I'm paying attention to what I'm doing and trying not to int the key or whatever. I think I was getting ready to blinding sleep there, but the upheaval from the dragon went off. But I think this is pretty standard. I downloaded the Raider.io application, which is why there's that big black box on the right side. I think I turned that off here in a little bit. But and then pretty standard route. I think it's pretty standard for people to pull these berserkers now into the first boss and the second boss, because you get the big damage buff on the pull or whatnot, right? I usually wait for not the slam, but the slam after, and then I just pull it in, as long as it's not about to die or get under the 40% mark, right? The plater that I use marks the 40% on these berserkers, so you know when it's about to hit its damage increase or whatnot, right? So that slam went off, so I just go pick everything up and pull it. Oh, he even did the dragon's breath there and everything. Looks like I used all my CDs up again. So I made up my own weak auras, and I turned Heckley off completely, but I just found that I was getting way too overwhelmed with like all the shit that was going on. I'm getting old, I think, is my excuse. And it's easy to have like the basic abilities up, just so I don't have to think about stuff, right? But I was able to play without it. I just like having the, I guess, freedom to not have to think about the like smaller parts of the rotation. Because I still want to be able, I still want to think about like, oh, when am I going to use my CDs and when am I going to use defensives and stuff like that. But like, just basically what Heckley lets me do is, when it basically just tells me to keep up buffs through my rotation, and keep up buffs and essentially spend my resources before I get capped out on them. It just makes it so I don't have to think about those two things, and then I can just focus on mechanics and positioning and stuff like that, which I like. I think it's a good way to play the game, but I don't know. Some people don't like it, but to each their own. If they got rid of it, I'd probably be fine. I probably need a little bit more getting used to it, but I probably wouldn't. One thing about Heckley that's really nice is I'm able to play a lot of different specs and stuff, because it takes a lot of the like muscle memory and learning out of the spec to a certain extent. There's still a lot of things it doesn't get right, because it basically just tells you to use things even in like situations where you probably wouldn't use it. Like it'll tell you to pop cooldowns, you know, when mobs are about to die and whatnot, and sometimes you just don't want to do that. Or like one big thing there is you can see it tells me to use Death and Decay, even though there's a Death and Decay already down. It just tells me to pop another one because I wasn't standing in one. But yeah, this dungeon, don't really remember how it went. That's another thing that's kind of nice, is I can kind of watch it after the fact too, and get a good idea of like, it helps me figure out how I can do better at the game. So far, I think I've been doing okay. I remember these rock throwers were super bolstered. And I was telling Zen, I was like, these are all on you. Good luck, sir. But, I'll have a potion up too. Wonder if I'll have that up for the boss. Probably. Our healer's coming back, but I've figured we'd be all right for a second without the healer. I need to go in and immediately blood boil in the future. I'm not sure like what your rotation should be to... Oh, and I remember Zen died here, and I was like, oh, what do I do? Because I want to pull these berserkers into the boss, but Zen's dead. So I was like, okay, I'll just res Zen here. I think I do that right here. Because I want to be able to pull these into the boss for the 40% damage increase. The only downside to this is if you're a healer or a DPS or anything, actually, like, the damage increase also increases damage you take. So the beginning of this fight is a little sketch. So as a healer, you need to be ready to pop CDs to keep people up. As DPS, you need to pop CD, like defensive CDs, during the first totem phase and stuff, right? I'm just trying to get everything all grouped up here. Also found out this tree down here in the bottom corner. If you're a ranged player, you can get a, or not tree, that tent down there in the corner. If you're a ranged player, you can get up on top of that apparently, and you won't get hit by any of the ambushers will never jump at you if you're up there. I guess the only downside to it is if the quaking totem gets put in a spot where you can't reach it. I guess that's why you would want to tank like close to that corner, right? As you can see, we lost the mage. I remember this. Kind of rough. Ripping that geomancer. I think at this point we're just gonna start falling behind, because it's just me and Zen now on his arms warrior, and our frost mage is down, and we're running. This was what, frost mage, arms warrior, blood decay, og, and disc, which doesn't count for the break the meta. We were just practicing because Zen wants to play arms, and I think to play arms he really needs the what do you call it? Just the practice. So we were just kind of running some different dungeons. I think honestly, like when the mage died, I think I was under the impression that we might still be able to do this, but from a speed standpoint, it probably would have been better just to reset the boss and go again. And then Zen dying on the trash right before this also made this really rough, because we weren't able to get the mage back up to like recover, right? So basically just watching for chain lightnings at this point, trying to get out of the thundering squalls and whatnot. Get everything all grouped up. Oh, and then we lose our healer. We're just falling behind at this point. And I definitely should have reset right here and then just had the evoker res, but I wasn't really thinking about it in the moment, I don't think. But I do think in the future, like for saving keys, because this is only a 21, so timing wise, like it's probably fine even with this. Oh, and then I edited the video to skip to this, so go back in and pull again. But we didn't have lust either. But I think our lust timings were kind of off because of this, so we should basically be on the third boss right about now, because you want to lust the third boss on a fortified week, because you lust first trash, third boss, and then trash right after Emberon. But yeah, this first Quaking Totem set, I don't know. I think healers just are never really prepared for it, because they aren't expecting the amount of damage that comes out. And that's the only time when damage comes out in this fight is during the Quaking Totem, essentially. Like the little ambushers jumping and the stone spikes and stuff is a little bit of damage, but it's nothing in comparison to when the big slam here, or when the Quaking Totems come out. Also, the boss is already at 40%. This mage is bursting for a buttload of damage. I hear Frost is supposed to be super, super good next patch. Grip in the Geomancer. Everything dies. Damn. But rotationally, I think I'm doing alright. I haven't really ran out of Bone Shield charges or anything. I kind of want to be using Vamp Blood like as quickly on cooldown as I can, and then just try to get everything grouped up. Vamp Blood with the current tier set, every time you pop it gives you a pretty big strength bonus. So you kind of constantly want to like keep it on CD and use it as quickly as you possibly can. It's pretty huge for your damage increases as a Blood Decay. And Blood Decay also does a ton of AoE damage right now. Our single target is kind of meh, but our AoE damage is pretty crazy. I'm also a troll Death Knight, by the way. Go grab the Custodian. We've been clearing the raid, and I'm not sure what's going on with my Unholy set, but I haven't been parsing super well in the raid lately. I usually parse around like 60th percentile or something on some of the later bosses. I was like 75th for boss damage on Echo this week. I think a lot of it has to do with like our timings, because basically I want to have like everything up during Lust, and the way we do Echo right now, I don't get Lust with my army the way we do it, which just kind of screws that fight for me. And then they had me doing a bomb on Sark, but that's also a pain in the butt because I can't go down when I have the material or the resources for it. Also, Zen died there. I was trying to kite up and down the sides of the stairs here, and I don't think Zen realized what I was doing. Is if you stand in front of these custodians, they can, as you'll see, sometimes these guys, they hit me with a or they try to use this like bloody bite or something on you, and it just trucks you as they get bigger. So, and here I think I just Chains of Ice spam and just wait for them to die, essentially, because they're getting so big now that if I get even a single, like, if they touch me once, I'm just dead pretty much, right? Just keep Change of Icing, and Zen's back, so we should be good to go and just go straight into the boss here. No Lust up or anything though, so it's also fun playing with somebody in Discord, because you'll see like we start stunning during the second crushing stomp to make sure that we don't lose anybody to that. That's probably the most dangerous point of this fight is, so these debuffs go out, you can see here, these debuffs go out, and those debuffs truck a person for a little bit, right? So the healer just kind of spams that person for a bit to keep them up, or like gives them some attention so that they don't fall over. And what'll happen is, as these crushing stomps are going out, it's already happened, you can throw a stun at it to prevent it from killing somebody if they have that debuff already. So you'll see sometimes in here it might be super useful to have that open, because like the priest has it again here. So priest is just healing themselves up, and then somebody stunned with the stomp there too, because the priest was already at like 50% health, right? I don't think the stomp would have killed them there, but it would have been probably kind of close, maybe. I don't know. Some Zora's Domain music. Man, I just realized the priest has gotten that 3 times in a row. That's crazy. I guess they're paying attention and they're like doing a good job of keeping themselves up, so better on them than somebody else, as long as they have CDs up. If they don't have CDs up, then it's probably GG or something, right? But grab him through 2 more of these quick. 4th time? What are the chances of that? The priest got all 4 of those in a row here. Crushing Stomp. Stun was a little late from the warrior there, but that's okay. Got some water and some raisins here. So Talandra should die soon here. Oh, the mage got it. I think the priest got it like 4 or 5 times there in a row. That's crazy. And then the mage gets it. Heading in here, and oh, I must have learned from earlier because I blood boiled immediately when I went into that pack there to get some threat going. And I wanted to grip purple over. I think I blinding sleep there to help with the weavers and whatnot. Oh, my nose is feeling kind of runny. I don't know what's going on. Oh no, I'm about to sneeze. Damn. Okay. Feel better. Sorry about that. Anyway. Back into it. Oh, these guys have some pretty big bowstring stacks. It's like, what, 5, 6 stacks? And then I have A-bomb limb here, which is nice for gripping everything together here. Burst of stone went out there. I guess it's kind of nice playing with a Blood Decay sometimes if you're a healer, just because you really don't have to think about them too often, I guess. Blood Decays just kind of keep themselves up most of the time. I think there's some situations where like they might need a little bit of help. That's why you kind of want to keep probably like some kind of Death Strike weak aura going. That way you can have an idea of when your Blood Decay can't heal themselves. Maybe toss them a little bit of assistance in that situation. You're doing a lot of healing. I think I was playing Umbilicus this week because it's a fort week. And Umbilicus just makes it a lot easier to play fort. Remember, this pull was kind of sketch at the start here. Slam's going out again. Oh, and then Zen came on top of me. This is why he dies. I think he dies here? I don't remember. Hail Stone. Oh, I popped Purg. That's fine. Popping Purg is fine. I thought somebody died here. I don't remember. Yeah, there he goes. I wonder what got him. Was he just not quite LOS'd or something? Wonder what defensives he had up. I never really checked those things. Boom, boom. Some Mario Encore. Rip all this together. But yeah, like this bull is a good example of like how crazy Blood Decay can be sometimes with that AoE damage. This whole time I'm telling him what marker I'm on and whatnot. Sitting there at like 300k DPS. That's crazy. I don't even think I have like the really good trinkets either. You want a beacon, I believe. I think I don't remember what I'm running for trinkets. I think I'm running the Mark of Dargrel, and I think I'm running an OCE actually. I was waiting for the healer to grab some mana there real quick. Grab a quick drink. Not too much to say about this fight. Just dodge the stuff on the ground pretty much. I guess pop a defensive, and having a priest is really nice because they can dispel that dot or whatnot. I think trying to get my dots on everything is kind of important in this. It's a little harder on it at night because I only really have Death Caress and like Blood Boil and stuff to get my dots rolling on stuff, so. Looks like we'll have hero for the second part of this fight. Actually, don't think we really needed to hero this. We might have, I don't remember. Also, that AMZ was kind of questionable. Probably wasn't horrible. I noticed we were falling behind because we have a disc priest, so. But I was like, I believe. I don't believe anymore. But yeah, we lost here, which I don't know if this was really needed. I guess it depends on how close we are to the enrage, right? Or the second phase, because you don't want to get that secondary intermission because it just slows down your key a lot. He's only at 83, so yeah, we probably didn't need to lust there. We probably would have been fine. Especially with a warrior, their execute. An arms warrior at that even. Golem. I was trying to have Zen go and pull some mobs from here, but I didn't know how to explain what mob I wanted him to pull. I just wanted him to pull this singular golem, because you can pull it back in here, and then you can LS around this corner, which is kind of awesome. So you bring everything into this little like alcove here. And then I think I just AMS this entangling. You'll probably see me pop it here soon. Yeah, just so I don't get stunned. But they can just LOS right around that little corner there. And then this makes the next pull a lot safer with the, because you don't have the golem in it, and you just have to kind of, and you can also pull like quite a bit more depending on where your pats and stuff are. I think I did make a mistake a little later in the dungeon because bolstering makes some of these like trash pulls a little finicky. I didn't have AMS up here, so I had to figure out a way to get out of that. And then didn't have a grip for that hail of stone. That's one thing too, is like I don't think our priest is psychic screamed once this whole dungeon. It's such a huge ability. I mean, it only interrupts 5 mobs for like a second, but that could be huge depending on like what casts are going off and stuff, right? I think I do a pretty big group up here. And then our pats in the next area are kind of in a nice spot. Try to grip it all together here. And then things start casting, and then the circle comes out, and I'm like trying to move everything out of it. And it just gets like locked in that area, and then I think they push it back even. Zen was like panicking. He's like, I used all my damage and I can't even touch him. Oh shit. And I think, so this is where I think I made a mistake, is so I pull all of this together and I'm like trying to put it in a position so I can get out of the entangling, and okay, yeah, so everything's kind of grouped up here pretty good. I think the mistake I made is I thought all we needed to do was kill the warder and I could just pull these custodians into the next pack, but I forgot about bolstering, and bolstering is such a pain sometimes because like this is a pretty easy pull. But what I wasn't thinking about at the time is that these 2 golems are going to get like mega bolstered by these custodians. I think it's good that we killed one of the custodians pretty early, because even though these are bolstered, like they're not going to necessarily kill us, right? With these first ones. But then all 3 of these other custodians are all going to die at like the same time. So now these golems have a 3 stack. So I AMZ the group just in case they don't make it around the corner. And that first one goes off and it hits 1 person, I think. This is where I'm like, oh no. Like everybody's HP just, it's like, I think they lived by, it's like 5 or 10% HP left there. So it could have been really dangerous, but. Kind of surprised that the LOS was so like, a lot of people just didn't LOS this at all, but we still made it. So I guess it doesn't really matter. I do like this way of pulling the dungeon. It feels pretty good. A little sus there, but I had what do you call it? Purgatory available, so. And I blinding sleep there because we had a bunch of curse of stones going off and stuff. I didn't want those to. I think I gripped that. Yeah, let's go. But yeah, I'm kind of tired. I don't know. My voice probably sounds fine, but I went to a show this weekend. We went and saw, a buddy of mine invited me, and we went and saw I Prevail and Godsmack. And I'm just, I don't know. I went kind of crazy. It was really fun. I was screaming and having a good time, and went in the mosh pit a bit, so I'm kind of sore and whatnot, but it was really fun. I Prevail was awesome live. So was Godsmack, actually. Like, I wasn't super excited to see Godsmack. Like, I've listened to Godsmack for a lot of my life, but it's not a band that I've been like, that I would have been like super excited to go see. But going to see them, I didn't realize how many Godsmack songs I actually knew, which is kind of crazy. They're really good though. I was really surprised. They put on a really good show. And then I made a mistake here. I should have pulled the agent at the bottom of the stairs too, because that would have given us our full percentage. Blinding sleep there, but I doubled with the upheaval from the evoker. But yeah, I should have pulled the agent up with this pack because it would have been fine, and then we could pre-skip, because if you don't know, you can if you have a priest, they can Mass Dispel, or no, not Mass Dispel, Mind Soothe at the bottom. You can Mind Soothe the Time Reaver, and you can just walk right by it. So you don't need to kill it. But yeah, you have to have a priest for it, I think. I don't think it even works with a rogue. I'm not certain. So yeah, this is the agent I should have pulled. I figured we would just kill it real quick, and then we would just pre-skip, but our evoker's like not having any of it, so they start pulling everything. I was like, oh, I need to go get aggro on that, otherwise we're gonna have some issues. So I just grabbed that real quick. I just held them right here because they can step out into the room if they want to LOS. But we also have a priest, so they can Mass Dispel this dot. Another thing that people don't know is this. Oh, they did it. So right here, there's a buff that'll stack on this Time Reaver. That you can use if you have a priest, you can, it's like Dispel Magic or something like that. You can use to get rid of that. It stacks up indefinitely, and it's like a haste buff for the auto attacks that Reaver does. It stacks up and it hurts quite a bit. But I saw the priest do it once. I don't know if they'll do it again. It's at 5 stacks already. Getting pretty big. 6 stacks, yeah. I guess they did it once, or maybe they Mass Dispelled, and maybe that hit it too. I don't know. It's a pretty common skip. Most people know how to do this. But our priest just dies for some reason, which was a little random, but I guess okay. I tried to battle res there, but I think that's just out of range or something. I don't know. Final boss. 4 minutes remaining, 5 minutes remaining. I mean, honestly, even with the wipe on Bromok, like, the dungeon was pretty clean. The thing with Bromok, I think, is just, if you're a healer and you have a tank that does the strat with the 2 Berserkers, you just really gotta pop some big healing offensive, or healing CDs on that first, the first totem. Yep. That's like, I've lost a lot of Uldaman keys on that first, or on that second boss for whatever reason, just because of people not doing things in some way. So I'm actually just not going to move here because the rewind time flow is coming out. I think I do this once or twice more, where I try to leave the boss kind of like in the middle of this, so it's easy to stay in the middle of it for our melee. And then you'll see me leave a little early, so because there's always a breath right after this. I just want to put that breath into the wall if I can. And we just keep kiting around the room in the same direction we were going before. It's on your breath. Something I'm noticing a lot too after rewatching this is I'll set my death and decay a lot of times, but on bosses like this where I'm moving all the time, I don't try to get like back in them sometimes. Like I'm on the corner of my death and decay here, but the last two, like I was in them for a second and then I was kiting or backing up, and I could have probably stayed in the death and decay a little bit, but I wasn't quite. I just wasn't thinking about it at the time. And I have this weak aura that tells me like, so when it's lit up, it means I have the death and decay buff, and then the CD is just the CD on death and decay itself. Same thing here, just trying to make sure that I don't hit anybody with breaths and keep kiting it. And this happens a lot too, where people fall behind. So you notice people are starting to fall back on this corner, and you'll notice here in a second that's going to create some issues. So like you see the mage, actually our whole team is like back there on that setup, which is all right. We only have 10 seconds until the next rewind, but our dragon just dies here, I think. Yeah. And then here comes the rewind, and then we win. So we probably could have just stayed up on the top there, but if everybody would have been up closer to me there, we would have been fine, I think. So hey, I got a little bit of score for that too. I guess I hadn't timed to 21 on my DK for this, but I don't really push a lot on some of my other characters. I spend a lot of time just like running dungeons, trying to fill vaults and stuff like that, but and pushing on like one character, because I've been pushing on the druid this tier. But we only really push like once or twice a week, so it's not for very long. We spend like 4 hours total pushing or something like that. So anyway, well, I hope you enjoyed the video. It's just a what was that? Just a 21 Uldaman, the Legacy of Tyr, on my Blood Death Knight. I think my Death Knight's basically Biss. I don't have a beacon on it, but other than that, I have a whole bunch of gear on it. So anyway, well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like, comment, or sub would be cool. And I hope you have a good rest of your day, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.